As promised during our Wednesday really quick short promo episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief, today I sit down with ELIAS, the creator and mastermind behind INSURED, the survival-based board game. So make sure you hang on until after Kickstarter Corner so you can find out about that great game. Really quick interview I had with him. This episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief is proudly being powered by Dark Naga, Haunting of Hastur, Hardback 5e and OSR. It's a hardback color omnibus edition of the Haunting of Hastur modules DNH1, DNH2, DNH3, 4, and 5 with VTT maps and extras. A lot of the art will be colorized to bring you this great hardback novel. Well, not novel, but hardback book of the Haunting of Hastur for your D&D and OSR gaming pleasure. Plus, we will have Kevin on the show in the coming week to talk about it. So, go check out Dark Naga, Haunting of Hastur, Hardback 5e and OSR that's on Kickstarter through Sunday, the 17th of February. This episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief is proudly being powered by LunaTix, Star Tracker's Solar System Lunar Landing. It's an educational and strategic board game that combines real astronomy and historical space navigation. It contains a real star map. They will be on Kickstarter through Monday, the 18th of February. So, make sure you go check out LunaTix Star Tracker Solar System Lunar Lander. If you want, jump back in our feed of podcasts and catch my interview with Vincent. This episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief is also proudly being powered by Fantasy Cartography 100 Plus Modular Dungeon Rooms, which is the biggest fantasy map aid so far. Modular Rooms Part 2. They reached their goal quite some time ago, and they're on Kickstarter through this Monday, the 21st of January. So don't dilly-dally and go check that out. Fantasy Cartography 100 Plus Modular Dungeon Rooms. This episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief is also proudly being powered by DGS Games, Snakes and Skulls, Freeblades Fantasy Miniatures, Chakram Wavestalkers and Kandorian Deathmasters for your Freeblades 32mm Fantasy Skirmish game on Kickstarter through Tuesday, the 22nd of January, and they have reached their goal. This episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief is also proudly being powered by New Comet Games and their latest Inner Sanctum, which will be on Kickstarter through this upcoming Thursday, the 24th of January. So definitely check out Inner Sanctum. This episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief is also proudly being powered by Born to Serve, a superpowered game of tabletop service, a tabletop game for 2 to 5 jobless superheroes competing for the last job in town at the local restaurant. And if you want to hear more about it, go check out update number 2 as I sat down with Diane to talk all about it. So go listen to that, and then if you like what you hear and you check out their Kickstarter page, come back and back it. You only have through Thursday, the 31st of January. They're so close to their goal, you could push them over the top.
Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf, the podcast in which one man strives to level up his geekhood and helping you do the same, one battle at a time. Now, let's get geeky with Gamer Leaf.
Welcome to Getting Geeky with Game Relief. So glad you could make it. Pull up a chair and stick around for a short while. We got a couple games and projects that are on Kickstarter, and then we'll dive right into the interview, which is a short one, but I think you'll enjoy it, so hang on.
What is this place? What is it doing here in the Leaves computer? Oh, it's Kickstarter Corner with the Leaves.
First off, we've got Freeblades Fantasy Miniatures, Snakes and Skulls. It's a Shackerwave Stalkers and Kandorian Deathmasters for the Freeblades 32mm Fantasy Skirmish game. And I had the pleasure of sitting down to talk all about this with John, and you can find that episode easily if you jump over to their Kickstarter and check out update number 10. Podcast about Freeblades and the Kickstarter. So go listen and then come back and see if this be a skirmish game you like. I really am thinking about getting into skirmish games, especially these miniatures remind me of cartoons from my youth. So check out Snakes and Skulls, Freeblades Fantasy Miniatures on Kickstarter through this Tuesday, the 22nd of January. Next, we've got Fantasy Cartography 100 Plus Modular Dungeon Rooms. The biggest fantasy map aid so far, Modular Rooms Part 2. And you know what? I acted proxy for Steve and I had Princess Leaf interview me. It was a pretty cute episode, so definitely go listen to that. And then if you need some maps for your role-playing games, come and check out the campaign. They reached their goal quite some time ago and they end this Monday, the 21st of January. So check out Fantasy Cartography 100 Plus Modular Dungeon Rooms. Next, we've got Cartoon Crusaders Tabletop Card Game. Did you catch our last episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief? Well, not to worry. We've got an easy way for you to find it if you don't want to go back through your podcast feed. But first, a little bit about Cartoon Crusaders. This is a tabletop card game, 1 versus 1, play out of the same deck in a game of skill versus luck versus skill. Want to find out what that's all about? Not to fret. I asked Chad that exact question, and you can find that in update number 5 of their Kickstarter update interview with me in a new podcast, Getting Geeky with Game Relief. So definitely jump on over and check that out and see if this be a game you like. And speaking of games like this, as he had a lot of comparisons and he really liked Magic the Gathering, the card game, well, another person we know loves Magic the Gathering is Richard from We're Not Wizards Tabletop Gaming Podcast. One of my favorite podcasts, in fact. And that brings us to our last project on Kickstarter currently. It's We're Not Wizards Tabletop Podcast Gluten-Free Biscuit Fund. It's a tabletop podcast with interviews, chat, Scottish people, and no wizards. Some wizards possibly. And we need gluten-free biscuits. They reach their goal. In fact, they're at 100 backers. So if you back them, maybe they'll go up a little bit more. But 100 backers, that's quite an achievement. And if you want to find out how my chat went with Richard, you can find that in update number 7, entitled, No, Let Me Tell You About Me for a Minute. So go give that a listen and check out their podcast and see if it's something you like, and show a little support to Richard from We're Not Wizards Tabletop Podcast. Tell him Getting Geeky with Game Relief sent you. And you're going to want to not dilly-dally, as this project is only on Kickstarter through tonight at 4:06 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's right. So definitely go check out Richard's podcast and his Kickstarter campaign. And now let's go ahead and jump straight into my interview with Elias.
Now, let's get geeky with Gamer Leaf.
Here is Mezuma, and this is his story. Mezuma was filthy rich, and nothing was ever enough for him. Gold coins and precious gems filled his palace. Blinded by greed, gradually lost his family members, those who were the real treasure. One day, he woke up and found himself in an unknown place. Lost and stranded, he walked around frantically, not knowing what to do. But something lay on the ground caught his eye. It was a family portrait of the people he once have had the privilege of calling them his family. Looking at it, he realized that his family is where he belongs and he needs to be reunited with them. As he continued straggling in the deserted area, he found a dilapidated store. Much like an oasis in the desert, it called to him. "Come in," a voice in his head said. As he approached the store, a mysterious figure appeared from a fog almost in a dreamlike manner. The silhouette then told him that he was trapped in a world of INSURED together with a few others, and the only way to escape is to obtain 20 hearts and coins quickly before the other opponent does. Or he could eliminate all his opponents to be the last one standing. As Mezuma was about to leave, the mysterious figure offered him the choice to get a shieldstone, and he accepted. After leaving the store, he arrived at a crossroad with a fate sign floating in the middle. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a wildfire emerged and spread to his surrounding. Putting him in a spot, he started to panic. The shieldstone that he obtained earlier started to glow and absorbed all the wildfire. As the fire disappeared, he obtained 1 heart in his inventory. Turns out, the shieldstone had a fire element motif on it. Will he be able to survive the world of INSURED and be reunited with his family? So what are you waiting for? Pledge a box of INSURED and find out.
Did that sound familiar to you guys? It didn't to me neither, but this is the story of INSURED, the survival-based board game, and tonight we're lucky enough to have on the creator mastermind behind this great game. Is that correct, Elias? Is that how you fall in line with INSURED, the survival-based board game?
Yes, correct.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us on Getting Geeky with GamerLeaf. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Yeah, no problem. Now, before we get into talking about your campaign and your new game that's about to launch, let's rewind a little bit if we could. How did you get started into playing tabletop board games?
It all started when I was 12 to 13 years old. Even though I was an avid video gamer, I started off with trading card games like Duel Master. However, the transgressions from collecting and playing TCG to tabletop was roughly when I was 16. I was introduced by my cousin in his friend's house. They were playing Settlers and they invited me to join them. Later did I know it was that point I felt that tabletop games were really interesting and fun.
Oh, cool. Did you leave TCGs? Did you still play those, or did you leave those by the wayside when you found tabletop games?
I still collect it, but not as much.
Oh, okay. Yeah, now do you collect board games?
I usually play them in a cafe rather than collecting them.
Well, that's probably a good idea. Yeah, we got so many board games that I haven't played yet. But what would you say your current favorite game is, Elias?
I wouldn't say I have a favorite game, but that's because I enjoy most of the tabletop game that I played. However, if I were to choose one, I would still say it's Settlers second edition, the one that actually kept me started tabletop in the first place.
Oh, okay. Is there a particular reason why you like that edition per se?
Sentimental value?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, a little bit of nostalgia. Yeah, I can't say that I blame you. When they recently relaunched the old Nintendo games, even though the graphics and stuff are horrible and stuff, I just like the sentimental values like you talked of, so that's pretty cool.
Precisely.
Now, word on the street is you have a new game project on Kickstarter. What can you tell us about INSURED, the survival-based board game, Elias?
INSURED is a survival-based board game for 3 to 8 players in a battle royale setting. Each game takes up to around 20 to 60 minutes of gameplay. Then players will begin by choosing a character of their choice with unique abilities. Then after selection, players can either race against each other to be the first to fulfill the game objective or to eliminate everyone else to earn themselves a way back to their original world. However, that is not the only obstacles they will have to face. As the world of INSURED consists a lot of uncertainty, these uncertainties are unforgiving. Yet their saving grace is the shieldstone they get to loan during the game. With each shieldstone being unique and limited, the players will have to strategize in which of the shieldstone they will want to loan and insure themselves for the uncertainty. Moreover, having the right shieldstone will only bring you closer to fulfilling your objective. So therefore, how will the players strategize? Will they manipulate their way through, or will they leave it to fate?
Okay, awesome. It sounds fun. So if me and you sat, well, I guess we'd have to have one more player, of course. But if me, you, and another player sat down to play Insured, how would my turn look, Elias?
I would say everything is based on personality. So I can't tell you how is it like because it depends on the player's personality because it determines the game outcome in the end.
Okay, well, you know your personality. What does your turn look like usually? But I don't know if you want to divulge that in case somebody decides to play you, but just in case they're not listening, what does your turn look like?
All right, for me, like Insure is a multiplayer semi-cooperative game. So in the sense where if I were to choose like Puppeteer for in this instance, that's this character Puppeteer, he have the fate to change. He has the ability to change fate, and with that ability, I can try to figure out what is my opponent's fate are. So I'll just ask them questions, look at their body language, and figure out what is the fate different from what I have, and whether do I want to change it with them.
Okay, and what mechanics does it employ in Insured? Like, what game mechanics are you using?
Okay, for game mechanics wise, it's quite unique because everybody will have their own resources to take note of, and that the resources they have, like their health and coin. However, they have to figure out which shield stone they want to get it, and with that shield stone, it will either push them forward or bring them to making it harder for them to fulfill the game objective.
Okay, yeah, I really like those games because it sounds like every player, every character has their own abilities or different things that the characters have. Is that right?
Yes, correct.
Awesome. Now, during play testing of this game, Elias, was there ever anything you guys had to scrap or get rid of because it just wouldn't work for the game?
I would say instead of scrapping, I had to put in the tokens and redesign the shield stone so that players will be able to easily track their loan and durabilities for their shield stone as one of the main factors to fulfilling the winning objectives.
Awesome. And when it comes to Insured, the survival-based board game, what would you say you're most proud of, Elias?
I would still say is the game mechanics because I managed to make a game that is easy to learn, yet it's pretty difficult to master it. To why I would say that is because when my nephew and niece who are 9 and 10, they tried the game for the first time, they immediately understood what is going on. Yet they could not win all the time because there are many external factors that they have yet to know how to deal with. One of them being the player's personality. However, this does not stop them from wanting to play more.
Awesome. Yeah, sounds like a game I need to get on board with because usually I end up losing all the games because my wife and kids usually beat me. But this one, it sounds like if that's the case, that maybe I'd be really easy for me to learn, but then maybe my wife wouldn't beat me all the time. I don't know. I guess I'll have to wait until it comes out. So if somebody backs Insured the board game, so you don't overpromise and under delivery, what kind of dates are you looking for delivery?
All right. It will be delivered around June after production shipments and everything. The rough estimate time is June to July this year.
Okay. Okay, so June to July, so that's awesome. So they won't have to wait very long, so that's great. Now, with all the other game projects on Kickstarter, what makes Insured the board game pop or stand out as one my audience should go check out and then back if they like what they see, Elias?
3 reasons. Number 1 will be Insured inspires to discern the times and stay strengthened and fortified for any eventuality. What does it mean is it creates real life situation where you will have to face great adversity and also suddenly meet opportunities, and through them you learn to thrive. You will understand the importance of being insured. Number 2, Insured sharpens your decision making skills. Every decision you make will not only affect you but also everyone around you. Through the game, you will discover the real you as well as develop some strategies to succeed in real life. And lastly, number 3, Insured teaches you that nothing is guaranteed till it's certain. In Insured, no matter how close you are to winning, there is always a chance that you might be further away from your goal. Despite your best effort to win, you might find yourself annihilated. Thus, the player will have to learn how to manage their own expectation to fail forward by persevering on.
Awesome, and we'll make sure we leave links in the show notes so people can go check it out and then back if they like what they see. Now, Mina's coming there to Singapore or your hometown to stalk you. How can people go about keeping up with you and other games you have coming out in the future as well as Insured?
I'm working on my website at the moment, but once it's ready, they could always follow me through the newsletter and I will be doing regular update on it.
And if I recall correctly, you guys also have a Facebook page.
Yes, correct. It's called INSURED, the board game.
Okay, and they can follow along there as well in the meantime. So that's awesome. Now, speaking of what's up next, I know we're really focused on getting INSURED funded so it can be delivered and whatnot, but after that, is there plans?
Alright, INSURED now is just a base game. There will be second and third expansion, even a fourth expansion if it goes well. And I'm currently going to work on a new game also, that's why.
Okay, awesome. So, yeah, that's pretty good. Now, will those expansions be part of the Kickstarter, or those will be something new after the fact?
That will be something new after the Kickstarter campaign.
Oh, okay, good. I always like those better because, like, they try to do all these exclusives and stuff. I thought, why not focus on the main game? But yeah, I know some people do it and some people don't. But that's awesome. Just looking at over the whole Kickstarter page and everything, it looks like INSURED, the survival-based board game. It looks like it's a really fun game, and I love the art. And it looks like it also has a nice narrative or story behind it. Plus, like I said before, it might be one that I might end up winning sometime, so that would be great for me. But yeah, definitely, if you guys are listening right now, go ahead and click on the show notes and check out INSURED, the survival-based board game that's on Kickstarter right now. But yeah, we really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, especially getting ready to launch this and everything, to join us on Getting Geeky with Game Relief. We really appreciate it, Elias.
Thank you, Blake, for giving me a chance to share about INSURED with Getting Geeky with Game Relief.
No problem. We really appreciate it. Well, I hope you enjoyed that interview I had with Elias. If you liked anything about his game or anything like that, go ahead and make sure you back it on Kickstarter. Show him as well as us support. Same goes for any of the games mentioned during Kickstarter Corner. Go ahead and show them a little support as well as us. And anyways, we will catch you guys on Tuesday. Remember, we changed our schedule to Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. But anyways, our least favorite time, your least favorite time. Time for us to get on with our lives. Hopefully we'll be able to get some gaming in. You to get on with yours. Hopefully you can do the same. And in the meantime, I hope you'll go ahead and get geeky, stay geeky, and bring others in the geek fold. Game Relief out.
Gamer Leaf levels up. Tune in next week to see if Gamer Leaf's luck holds up.